Hello, my name is Tarsa129, and I am still the main maintainer, administrator, moderator, whatever, of the Mario Kart Double Dash modding wiki. I wanted to make this video as like a follow-up slash part 2 to my wiki introduction video. In this video, I'm going to go over the rules of the wiki, what they are, and I want to try to justify, like why they exist. The preamble is just stolen from Talkdom, just follow the rules, they're important. And these are what the rules are. This may seem kind of long. There's also the publish works policy, but I hope that you can find that like if you just use common sense and if you have respect for the people's work, and especially use the show preview button, that's very important. You won't really break any of them, and even if you do, um like, I'm not going to, like, block you or ban you from the wiki, unless it's a serious thing or, you keep on breaking them, like, egregiously. If you have any further questions, you can, comment on this YouTube video, reach out to me in Discord, or post in this page's talk page, which is here. Otherwise, you can see it's red because no one's used it. Um, so first there's the content. First we have what defining what content is, which is basically everything on a page or linked to a page. Um, Everything should be related to Mark or Double Dash or mod of it in some way. This is a Double Dash modding wiki. Don't release your Mario Kart Wii custom tracks on here. There's really no reason for it to be that way. But basically, like any Double Dash technical knowledge, any Double Dash mod is going to be allowed on here. Um, and that's kind of easy to follow, I hope. Nothing should be pornographic, offensive, or illegal. This is one of like the serious rules that I mentioned that like will get you blocked. Especially if it's like pornographic or like really offensive. Um, as part of the thing of illegal, this includes direct uploads to ROMs like as a download link. Do not include them. I will at the very least take down the link. Um, like that's illegal. We don't want to be responsible for that. Please don't do it. Having stuff be patch compatible is just a lot better uh in general, like for everyone basically. um all content should be freely and easily accessible to members of the public. Basically, a normal user should be able to just click on a download link and easily be able to download the mod. They shouldn't have to acquire sign up to an account or like any password. Like no restriction is allowed. Um, and this is just because it's a community site. And we want the community basically to be able to access all of the resources. And the publish works policy I'm going to go over later. I want to kind of finish out this page first. Um, so content pages, tutorials. I really care about tutorial accuracy. Like very early on in like when I started modding, I tried to like find information for like Double Dash modding, and like most of it was like incorrect or like not really applicable to Double Dash. It was really like frustrating to try to find correct information. So I really want to make sure that all the tutorials on this wiki are accurate. Um, I've gone ahead and protected the two main tutorial pages, which is custom track creation tutorial and custom character creation tutorial. If you want to edit a tutorial page, if you want to add a new tutorial, you should reach out to me on Discord. I find that like oftentimes it takes a lot of effort to like go through a tutorial and make sure that everything's accurate and easily followable. And I want to make sure that I have the time set aside so that I can like really make sure that the tutorial is the best it can be. But really, if you have any tutorial, please let me know. Um, as I mentioned in the previous video, there are like these templates that you can use to like have the to like format your content page or for a mod release, and basically this rule says to use it. This is just so like an ordinary user can like find information about the mod quickly, especially like the download link, the author, and like version history. It's just Really nice for like site navigation. If a template's changed, you don't need to like update stuff. I added like a credit section to because like a lot of people use like background music. That's when my character review like got help. That used to be in the overview. I put into the credits, and that was something that I did myself. So just as long as you use like the what's there, you're fine. This is kind of important. Don't like make like too many edits to the same page in a short period of time. There's the show preview button so you can see what your edit's going to look like so you don't have to save. And this rule is here because for like every change that's made on the wiki, a moderator has to go through and do something like called like patrolling the edit, which basically means a moderator sees this and like they acknowledge it happens. And like while we're small, like maybe sure you can do like more than 2 times a 15-minute period, but as the wiki grows, which it has been, it gets like really annoying to have to sit there and click through patrol edit for like something that changes one character. So this rule is just there to make lives a lot easier for the moderators. Show PV button is very important. To go along with that, there's don't get into edit wars, which is kind of similar. It's kind of annoying to have to like click through this edit was done, then it was reverted, whatever. All these disputes should be settled like person to person instead of like through a mod page. So please just dispute any settle any disputes on your own and reach out to a moderator to like take care of it. We actually haven't had an edit war yet, which is really great. Let's keep it that way. Woo! Users cannot blank or delete pages. But I don't think ordinary users can delete pages, so this rule is easy to follow. But there's really no reason for a user to blank a page, because if they're blanking their own page, there's like really no reason, because like a moderator, like as I'll discuss later, we allow takedowns of mods, so there's really no reason to blank it when it can just straight up be deleted. And if you're blanking someone else's page, well, that's just kind of rude. And not common courtesy, so don't do that either. Content pages should only be changed by like original creator, someone with permission, or someone with a good reason. Basically, like a lot of people like don't necessarily want other people touching their content pages, so don't do it unless you have permission or like a good reason. Adding media, especially like if the page doesn't have a media, like if a page already has like a video by the creator, like I would like don't edit that. But if there's like no media at all, you want to like add a YouTube video that you made, like that's completely fine. Obviously if the original creator reaches out and be like, I don't want this video on there, I'll take it down. But most of the time I find that, you know, Double Dash is a small tight knit community. Like I assume that permission was given for like YouTube videos. But just like don't edit other people's pages without the permission in general. User pages, like I'm kind of more strict on that. Like do not edit someone else's user page unless you like you very much have explicit permission for the edit. Even I as a moderator don't really like to touch other people's user pages. I feel like a user page is like their play, like a user's page to like introduce themselves, like talk about themselves, and I don't want to edit. I don't want to like intrude on that. So just don't edit other people's pages without their permission. Uploaded files. So this is mainly for like files that are used as the media for a mod release page. Files, if you upload it from a vanilla copy of the game, which there aren't too many of them, they should retain their vanilla name and like a file path system if you need to like distinguish it, just so people can know like where it's from or where they can find it in the ISO. All other files, which and this is going to be for like a mod release, it should have specific descriptive titles. And this is like if you made a custom track, the file and the image name shouldn't be like my custom track. It should be like name of custom track, like maybe a version number, and then like maybe a description of or like in game or like review cams or something. But it needs to be like specific. And if you upload an image that's not specific enough, a moderator will just go ahead and change it. We also don't want them to be too large, and that's just to make it like slightly easier for Mira Hayes to like so they just don't have to store as much, because you know it is a free service and I want to like make sure to keep at least try to keep the cost down. Don't add unnecessary videos or images, and don't add like too many of them. That's just so that like the page isn't cluttered by all this media. Like the other information can still be read by a user. Um, and also like don't upload needless pictures. Like this is honestly just more work for you. And this thing about removing pictures is like if you like if pictures used, I'm not going to delete it, but this is basically just saying like if you have a screenshot for like a v1 update and then you update it to v2 and replace the v1 with a v2 and the v1 picture isn't used anymore, I'll probably just delete the v1 because it's not really necessary. Talk pages, no one on this wiki uses a talk page. I don't think I cannot remember the last time anyone that's not me has edited a talk page. But if you want to, you can follow these rules. I don't really want to go into them because I don't think they've never applied to anyone. Um Miscellaneous. We use the year month day format everywhere, as I said in my previous video. This is kind of important just so people can know what date something was released. Version formats, again, there's not really a hard, it's not like you have to follow this thing, kind of up to you as long as it makes sense. And also, there's really no reason why you should have more than one user account. This is like a mirror haze thing as well. The policy on username changes, which has happened, I think once. You have to go through Mirror Haze first, and they will, because your account isn't on the wiki. It's like on Mirror Haze. Like if I went to another Mirror Haze, I'd still have an account. So you have to go through Mirror Haze first, and you have to change the username with that account, which I think can be done. I think once every 2 years or once every year. I forget. But once that's changed, I'll see it, and all the relevant pages will be changed. So you can like give me a heads up if you want, but I'll still like see it, and I'll still be taken care of. So this is like a second page of rules. It's the published works policy, and this basically has to do with like all of the stuff that's like released on the wiki, because it's a published work. Before I get into these rules, I just want to clarify that these only apply to stuff that's released on the wiki. I want to talk a lot about permission to do stuff like updates or distribution inclusions, and these rules only apply to updates or distributions specifically released on the wiki. I do not care. I cannot like control what you do on your own. If you privately update a track without permission, or if you put together your own private distribution, like without author permission, I do not care. You are absolutely free to do that, as long as you get permission before putting that private update or private distribution on the wiki. Again, all content on this wiki has to be free to download. As I said before, that's just so stuff is accessible because it's a community resource. You're allowed to have in-progress content. If you want to like use it to track your progress, that's fine. But it won't like necessarily get added to like the user links or like the list of pages yet, just because it's not technically released. I think I said this before in my previous video, but your mods have to be track patcher compatible, and I'll reiterate, mods are really hard to play without the patcher. Like custom tracks, custom characters, it's all a pain for like anyone. Like even it's a pain for me, and I know the tools. And because we don't want to limit like people who play the mods because they don't want to deal with modding tools, we do ask that all of your mods are track patcher compatible. Where Double Dash is like a kind of small community. The patcher, I think, predated the wiki anyway. So it's like just an established thing in the community, and it makes it a lot easier. And also, it's not that hard for like creators to make their mods to be patch compatible. And just because it makes everything a lot easier and it's not too much of a burden, we do ask that everything's track patch compatible. As I said in my previous video, if it's not patch compatible, obviously it's still allowed. We don't want to like limit that, but you have to declare it as such just so users can know that it is like that in case they need to like download tools to play it. They're not like surprised. There's another very common tool in the community I called like the double dash extender. And it's not mentioned in the rules because the double dash like extender only extends courses. And it can't handle stuff like characters or like other miscellaneous mods. Um, and because of that reason, um, like the track patch are compatible. MKD track patcher, because it's like more usable for all kinds of mods. That's the one that's in the rules for all the mods. Um, just in case anyone was confused about that. Um, so if a mod can only run with a certain AR code, region, or any other restriction, the restrictions have to be listed on the page. Um, we don't want to like stifle people like doing cool stuff, but also again we want to be user friendly and to like make sure that people downloading stuff aren't like surprised if this happens. Um, the any other restrictions, this does include crashes. If your track like crashes and like it can only be played if you like hit like ignore error on dolphin, that is considered a restriction because it's like not the restriction is that it can't be on console. Just be aware of that thing. And finally in this section, users are allowed to ask for takedowns of their own works from the wiki at any time. Because like users can't delete pages for like moderation reasons, you have to ask a moderator and it will be done. I understand that like sometimes you make stuff and you release it, but maybe later on it's like this isn't reflective of like my work and I don't want people to play it, and that's fine. We get that. We also don't want to like stop people from uploading the work to being like, oh, I can never take it down, so I don't want to do it now, or ever. Like we want to like remove that restriction or like reason that people might not upload. So you're allowed to take it down. Obviously, I ask that you be kind of reasonable about it. Like if you upload something and you ask for it to be taken down, like that's cool, but like don't repeat that literally every single day. They'll just get annoying. But I trust that people will be reasonable about it. So this rule is general for now, and I don't want to like restrict it. Uh, Permission. So authors spend a lot of time on their work. We want to acknowledge that like they spend a lot of time on the work and they put like, maybe their heart and soul into it by giving them as much like control of their mods as possible on this wiki. This means that you have to get permission, which I'll define like soon, to do stuff for like updates, distribution inclusions, and like asset usage. We're not associated with Nintendo at all. Just want to get that out of the way. Um, so only a creator, someone with the permission of the creator, can post content regarding a creation. Basically, like don't um upload someone else's work to the wiki without their permission. Like if someone wants to like keep their like mod like don't have a public release, that's completely fine. Um, this kind of goes along with like the don't edit the content pages. Um, but yeah, just get permission to do stuff with other people's work, especially if it has to do with like release and making it public, like for anyone to play. The one thing about one edge case is like tools or software. If it's made publicly available, like on GitHub, which is probably the most common means, it can be added. Like a lot of like tools, they're released on GitHub, which is like they're already released publicly, and a lot of the times they're released with like open source licenses, which basically means anyone can do whatever they want with them. So in that case, permission is like kind of considered to be granted. But if the original creator for some reason reaches out and says, "I don't want my tool, I don't want this on the wiki," like I'll take it down. Yeah. So when it comes to granting permission, it's not like a super formal thing. It's just like, "Hey, can I update blank?" And then someone says yes. Um, and basically, as long as like I can like verify it, which can be like anything any text on the wiki, or like I'll probably most of the time what happens is I'll reach out to like maybe the original creator. If I can't reach out to them, like the updater on Discord, and be like, hey, did you get permission? And then most of the time it's like, yeah, sure. And that's basically all I need. um there is like another, I guess, loophole. I don't know if that's the right word. So if an author doesn't have language on the wiki that restricts permissions, and they're gone offline, like completely offline, touching grass, being happy, then permission is considered to be granted. So I guess in this case, Whippinsnapper, who set up the wiki, doesn't have anything against updates of mods. Um, and he has a mod on here, Baby Wario. So if you want to update Baby Wario, because Whippinsnapper cannot be contacted, you are allowed to do that. But if Whippinsnapper ever came back and saw the like mod and didn't want that, he can take it down. He can ask for it to be taken down, and it will be taken down. And without proper permission, download links to mods will be removed just because it goes against our publish works policy, which I'm explaining here. So updates are like kind of simple. You know, you take someone else's work and you make hopefully improvements to it. You get permission for it, and also so like in the case of Baby Wario, you would have to retain all of Whippinsnapper's like the original download link on the page somehow, just so people can still access like the original version. The We don't require like previous versions of your own work to be preserved on the wiki. So like if you have v1.0 and then you update to v1.1, you don't need to keep the v1.0 just because like it's your mod. But if you like update someone else's work without explicit permission, like you have to keep the old one on there. I guess what's common is when you update someone else's work with permission, then you don't need the original download link either. Distributions, it's one of those things where it's like you know it or you see it. There are some mods, like mod releases on this wiki where it's like 2 characters in one. I have like DS Legend of Zelda Postman. I don't like really consider that a distribution, even though like maybe it would fall under like the technical word, but like distributions are usually like big, like all 16 tracks replaced, all characters replaced, all battle stuff replaced. That's what we consider to be like a distribution. We shouldn't add a distribution without the original creator's permission. That's for a bunch of reasons. Basically, there's no good way as of yet to like give credit to individual mod authors for distribution, and like authors should be able to be like I don't want like maybe someone else potentially like get all this credit for something that I put, like unless like they're explicitly okay with it. Some people just might not want to be associated with your distribution, and we want to give mod authors like that chance as well. And also if you want to like make any distribution specific edits, so if you want to like change all the starting banners or something, you have to get permission for that as well. It's kind of like an update to, I guess that falls under the update policy. But that's, I just want to make that clear. And then we do allow for distribution specific mods. Both of our track edit distributions are completely composed of distro specific mods, and that's for a couple of reasons. I mean, first, it already exists. Also, like if an author creates like 16 track edits and they mean for them to be played as a cohesive unit, there's really no reason for them to like exist as separate pages. I feel like that's more work for me, more work for the author when it's like against the author's intention. And also we want to like have more freedom for mod authors as well. Like if they make a track for specific distribution, that should be honored in my opinion. So that's why the rules like that. So using third-party content. So if it's part of a published game, you can be used freely. If you got the model from like another person, like a lot of the times just through the website models resource, you have to like have a link to the models resource page. Like obviously I'm not going to go through everyone's mod and like cross check stuff, but if you do that, we would greatly appreciate where you got the content. And also if you want to like use specific assets by like a third party, which could be like another mod on the wiki, another mod like on the Octum wiki, you have to get permission from the author, just because it's their work and you should get permission to use it. So I hope that this makes sense so far. I'm about to get into two specific cases. But this is going to apply to like most people. Like just get permission to like use other people's stuff and you'll be fine. That's like the main crux of this whole page. But to get into the specific cases, texture hack policy, as I said, everything has to be track patch compatible, but like if you have a mod, if you have like a texture hack that's completely made out of like Dolphin emulator, like custom texture loading stuff, and like that's how it's like meant to be played, um that's fine as well. That can be counted as a texture hack. You just have to like say that it's like that, and like if you make a different texture hack for a particular mod, you also have to say that. Like Dolphin texture hack loading like is also really easy to for like a user to do, which is why it's allowed on here. And also this is just has to do with uh the um the content pages, which will get edited by moderator if broken. And when it comes to custom characters, specifically voices, so the track patcher is capable of like replacing the files that have voices, but it's not capable of replacing like individual voices. Like it just replaces the entire, basically, like I want to say like archive file. Um, and this can create like complications because like if you have two characters with voices, like obviously the patcher can't patch them both, and that can be really frustrating for a user. So you have to stay basically that it has a voice, and we also do encourage not having the voice just so users can like still get at least some experience, although it's not required, because if you think the voices are important, like I don't want to ask you, or at least demand that you take it down, or do you don't have it. um so these are the rules. I hope they make sense. Again, if you have any questions, you can comment or like reach out to me. Oh, these rules aren't like set in stone at all. I would like to think that I'll change them if the people want me to. But thank you. Have a nice day.